Our assumptions about homeless youth are that they're delinquent, that they run away because they're rebellious or they break some sort of rule. But in fact, the most common reason youth give for running away is extreme abuse and family conflict at home. The typical story is a kid's in a really tough situation where there's extreme violence at home and they leave to find anywhere else to stay. They turn to the streets and they think maybe they'll find some relief there, but there they face extreme victimization again. As a society, we don't want to walk by homeless youth on the sidewalk. It forces us to see a significant need and then to struggle with the fact that we're doing little to address that need. We pass policies that criminalize homelessness so that we can force these people away. Instead of us saying, you belong to us and we'll help you get what you need, we instead police and prosecute homeless and we push them further away.
My name's Kim Bender. I'm an associate professor at the Graduate School of Social Work.
My name is Anamika Barmanadhikari. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Social Work at the University of Denver.
My name is Jonah DeChance. I'm a first-year doc student here at GSSW.
So I've been doing research for a number of years with homeless youth, and we typically go in and we do these quick interviews and then we leave. And I was getting the sense that we weren't really understanding youth's full story.
I think that when we talk about homeless people, we all picture the more stereotypical middle-aged adult who's living on the street and maybe approaching you for money, and we don't really picture young people because they look very different a lot of the time.
There's this perception that these youth are lazy.
They're rule breakers, that they're rebellious or delinquent.
They are, doing nothing to better their situation.
In reality, they're just kids who grew up in really, really difficult, challenging situations without a lot of support that most youth have.
It's very difficult for them to share their stories.
Photography can be a really great way to explore deep ideas.
And I heard about photovoice as this way of helping youth capture their world visually so that they could share more of what's going on for them.
The picture just give them the courage and for some reason the context to really talk about their stories more powerfully and in a more honest way.
My name is Glenn. I'm 21 years old.
Hello, my name's Julio. I came to reside at Denver, Colorado, just basically to change my life.
My name is Mariah. I've been living here at the Urban Peak Shelter for 8 months now.
Going to college, started my life again, had got out the system.
I came to Urban Peak because situations had gotten tough.
I had really nowhere to go, and no family would help.
I had fell again, you know what I mean? It wasn't from the system this time being locked up, but you know what I mean? Kind of dealt with, reality's problems instead of, the sales problems.
They had actually just had a paper up saying, oh, come join Photovoice, it's gonna be awesome.
It seemed like a really excellent opportunity.
I was like, oh, okay, this sounds fun. Like, I get to do photography. I kind of like doing that. I like taking pictures randomly of the sunset.
I kind of was trying to get, a good message out.
I wanted to be in it to change something in the community.
We met every single week usually, and we went through ideas, ways that we wanted Photovoice to be to impact the community at large.
And we all put our minds together and we came up with 50 things on a piece of paper.
We usually decided on topics that we saw out there because of our fellow homeless youth.
Poverty.
It was discrimination, other stuff like that.
Freedom.
Not just on, homelessness and not just on the predicament we're in, but also, a general problem, that people are facing today.
There's a lot of times that we take other people who've gone through other situations and we don't really talk about what we hear from them.
I loved seeing their photos. I loved hearing them talk about their photos. I loved hearing them connect with one another about their photos.
It's a lot of one person talking about their photo for a little while and then everyone sort of giving them feedback, either about the photo itself or about some of the ideas or the perspectives that they saw in the photo.
So what one youth sees in a photo, another youth might see something really different, but it prompted these ideas.
You know, the photos that these youth have taken have, overwhelmingly touched on the stigma and how they encountered this stigma in their daily life.
Like youth would bring in these photos of their world outside of the shelter, and it really made you realize what their day-to-day life is like, which is something that I don't think we really have a clear picture of.
They would come back with their pictures and tell these amazingly honest, sensitive stories about themselves.
They were able to really be open about their experiences with homelessness.
This is a photo I took, and this photo to me is me because I'm the chair. It's more or less me just feeling lonely in everything that I do.
It was supposed to be really like dim and dark and just like loneliness.
The God within us. We must discard negative thinking and replace it with positive thinking. We must discard our bad habits and replace them with the new habits that benefit us. The change is ultimately up to us as individuals. Follow where your heart goes and you'll see the God within you.
This is my favorite photo here. This guy is supposed to represent the outside looking in. So on the outside looking in, how am I supposed to get somewhere? Why am I out here? This is what gloom looks like.
My favorite part is probably when we have the exhibit.
We were really nervous about the first gallery. We were not entirely sure who would show up, how it would go. My first fear was that the youth wouldn't show up, and then they did, and they were nervous and they were uncomfortable. We all were.
It was like a scared moment for me. I'm gonna be in a big room full of so many people. It's kind of claustrophobic, and I just have to let everything out.
Seeing them really take ownership over that moment and ownership over that experience is just really powerful and really fun to watch.
And then my second fear was that the community wouldn't show up, and in fact they did to a 100th degree. We had standing room only, people packed into the Molecule Effect, which created a sense of excitement. I think it was like we were here for something important.
I think they were so amazed that many people showed up and that people were willing to listen to them and take their art and their ideas seriously.
It just felt incredible. There was just an energy in the room. When the youth spoke, there was just this group of people surrounding them, just smiling and supporting them. Like, it was so packed that it felt kind of like a circle or like a huddle. And after the youth started talking, you could tell they would relax a little bit and they could share and make jokes and share their experience, and people were just there, totally tuned in to what they had to say. And after the speaking part, youth could relax a little bit and stand by their photos, and community members could come and ask about certain photos and about what they meant to them and why they took them.
And they just feel this sense of empowerment.
I think they were really proud of what they accomplished.
And so it really changed their whole view of like, wow, a group of people would come together with positive intentions just to hear us, just to support us.
Especially when you've seen them in the very beginning, when maybe they aren't participating a lot and they aren't talking, and then they get up and they talk in front of a big group of people, because what they thought about and what they expressed in their photos is so important to them.
A lot of people saying, wow, these youth blew me away. They blew me away in the way they could be articulate, in the way that they have really thoughtful, insightful ideas about what needs to change in the world, in the fact that they have big goals that they want to accomplish, that they've survived more than most of us could imagine surviving, and are kind of coming out on top.
This is before I started my transition. This is after I started my transitions. I was really scared to put this up at the exhibit because I was really scared that people were just going to turn me away and look at me differently, because that's a really big barrier whenever I put something like this out, or even I talk to people in normal daily life.
One of my photos is about volunteers that had worked here, and they were just being very rude and disrespectful.
People really told me I was brave to be actually doing what I needed to do in life, and that really meant a lot, and that was the biggest compliment for me.
After that, like, they came up to me, the CEOs of the volunteers, and was like, well, you need to let me know if this ever happens again, because this is it's not appropriate, and we wouldn't want anybody to feel like that or be treated like that. So I actually changed something.
Photovoice created a unique space in these youth's lives where they could be valued for who they were, where they could share their perspective and really be heard and understood.
That's something that they don't get in a lot of other aspects of their lives.
So I think they left with a sense of, I'm capable.
These young people are in a tough situation, but they still have a lot of the same hopes and aspirations and ideas that their peers who are not homeless have.
I have skills and talents.
A lot of the youth, before they came into this intervention, had those skills, but they really felt like there was nobody who were rooting for that success.
I'm important, I have something to say, and people will listen to me.
Being a part of that exhibit where they saw that people cared,
It empowered them to feel like not only do their peers and a few adults want to hear what they have to say, but actually there's a whole community of people out there that want to hear.
being a part of this process where they were able to connect with their peers and see they had similar struggles, but also similar dreams and similar aspirations, I think really helped them become powerful advocates, not just for themselves, but for their entire community.
Their process of empowerment was realizing that there's a lot to be gained for advocating for themselves and sharing their experiences with other people.
If we can break down barriers and walls, meaning we have people engage and create these dialogues, I think there's a great opportunity.
It impacted me a lot, the project.
Is because it put my voice out there, and it also gave me hope.
Being a homeless youth is not something anybody wants to do. You just feel like crap when you're in this situation.
I still get scared sometimes, like every human does, because that's human nature, but you're trying to give me this nuance of what I needed to do in my life to make it better.
Change, routines that I've had bad routines, so I'm here now trying to just get things together.
I'm more open to things. I'm more happy about discovering myself and being happy with whatever life brings me.
I have a better perspective on life and on how other people feel. When I do things now, I just put it in other people's shoes in a way.
Short-term goal is get out the position I'm still in.
I want to go to college. I want to be a CNA or a CDA and get my license in one of those and just and help people. I want to help people.
Long-term goal is basically touching out, doing what photovoice did to me, just touching out to others, and, sending a good message.
And I just feel like I want to change things all the time now.
It's one of the biggest impacts that really has gotten to me, is that working and helping someone else to make their voice be heard is an important thing.